Okay, now it's recording. There we are, folks. Hold right on. I'll be right there. Don't panic. I'm the only one that needs to panic. Nobody else needs to panic. Updates for technology. Gotta love them. Gotta love them. I'll be right there. You can all hear me. I know it. We're just making sure everything's working correct. All right, all right, all right. Okay, I see you're out there, folks. This is awesome. I do apologize. We just got an update to our live feed software, and the video that was programmed to launch did not launch. So I'm going to stall here for just a few minutes. I'm going to run over to my main computer and make sure all of the links have been reactivated on that side. Don't give up, folks. We're going to have a great show today. It's a live show. I've got nothing but time for y'all. I just want to make sure that all of the descriptions have been tied back together. So I will be right back with everybody. Enjoy looking at this quilt here. You can probably hear me, and if not, I'm just going to take my microphone with me. There's no reason there to run about. So I just need to make sure that we have everything we need here for everybody. Up and going. If you're out there, let me know. Go ahead and throw a comment in. Let me know you're out there. Awesome. Okay. Now I see there's 17 waiting on the other link. Let's see what I can do to fix this here. Come on. Always a little challenging sometimes. They're asking you, Elijah, if I wiped out on the way to the studio. How crazy is that? Let's see. And okay, that link is open. I see people here. Wonderful. Okay, I see you all on the link. I'm going to go ahead and copy this link, everybody, and put it in the other group. We'll make sure everybody's happy. I do apologize about a little bit of the tech difficulties. It'll just be a second here, everyone. I'm going to try to put in the description links for you all so you have info for what we're talking about on today's feed. There it is. And just stand by another few moments, folks. I appreciate it. Maybe you could all make a quilt while you're waiting on me. Shouldn't take too much longer. And I do appreciate you all being out there. I really do. And I'm fixing it just now. Okay, there we go, folks. And I believe I have solved that little issue. And welcome to Friday Live, everybody. My name is Rob Appell. I'm a quilt maker. I'm probably sweating profusely because it's warm here in beautiful Quitman, Texas. Not as warm as it is over there in Florida. Carl Sass, let me know when you're on to the regular link here. Yes, there was a software update, and we should be broadcasting today in 1080 high def, so you can see all the beautiful colors and all the beautiful fabrics and everything. I'm not sure exactly what happened. We use the same platform every week, and something failed, So anyways, I just put a link out there. I apologize. We're going to do a wonderful live show. And as a matter of fact, we missed last week because I was traveling out in New Orleans. So we've had a big jump in subscribers once again. So I just really want to say thank you to everybody. The community is growing so fast. I asked you all to share the news that I was doing videos here at Stitchin Heaven. And obviously you're doing that for me. So again, we're at 57,000 subscribers now. Like I said, 2,000 subscribers in just a little over a week. That makes me feel fantastic, folks. Again, I really appreciate that. And then also, we have a Facebook private group, and of course, I'm the gatekeeper, and I'd be happy to let you in. You just got to say the right nice things to me. So feel free to join us on Facebook, and this is a great place for us to share photos and everything. And today, I do have a little show and tell for you all. A few of you have sent in your photos for me. The skateboard is on the table. Those of you who've been following along on my adventures over the last 10 days, I had a wipeout, but I did not lose. I loved it. One of the comments was, did I displace any of my tattoos? No, I did not. I didn't hurt myself. My hip's a little sore, and I have the end of that story coming for you, which was a real blessing. Of course, that's awesome. While I'm making sure that everybody is logging in here, and again, from all of my regulars, ACJ and Roxanne and Carl and all of that, once you get here, please let me know you're here, folks. You know I worry about y'all. Make sure you come and join us over here today, and we'll get it all taken care of next week. But like I said, we have the slideshow coming up. I just put a bunch of links, hopefully in the description for here is... Thank you for the comment about the sound being too low. Okay, excellent. Got you under control there. And so at any rate, what I was starting to say is I've got links in the description for a lot of the things I'm going to talk about today. So hopefully we are now organized and ready to have some fun. I'd like to invite you all to join us for our OESD embroidery party. That's called Let's Celebrate. This is kind of a seasonal thing we do, and we absolutely love having private instructors come out and spend a couple of days with you. So June 11th through 13th of 2024, we are having the Let's Celebrate, and that's all around embroidery, which is going to be a super, super great time. Oh, yes, Carl, I see you are here. Please keep spreading the word on the other link, if you will, for me, buddy, making sure everybody understands. We just had a tech difficulty, but the party has started here today. Speaking of parties, as a matter of fact, Wednesday's video was a get to know your HandiQuilter, the machine I generally use for most of my piecing and free motion quilting. I didn't label the video perfectly, folks. So here's our thumbnail, right? It's get to know your straight stitcher, but this machine really applies to a lot of different machines. So if your machine looks like this, it probably is like this. Maybe it's a Janome 1600P, maybe it's a FOF 1200, maybe it's a Viking Mega Quilt or something like that. But I've got a great video. Here's your advertisement for the week. Hey folks, it's Rob Appell from Stitchin Heaven's YouTube channel, and today I would like to teach all of you how to thread and wind bobbins for your new HandiQuilter HQ Stitch 510. This is a great single straight stitch machine. I know many of you have them or similar machines, so join me on YouTube. I'll teach you how to wind up that bobbin, thread up the machine. I even got a couple of tips on oiling for you. Check us out over on YouTube. Awesome, folks. And one of the reasons I love using the videos is it allows me to kind of check in on the comments. ACJ, we are so happy to have you back. I'm sorry if I made a disaster out of today's link. Jenny, great to see you. Carl, I'm glad to see your friend is here. Folks, enjoy yourselves in the comments. And we're actually going to dive pretty quick into the grateful list today because there are so many blessings that have happened in the last 10 days for me. If you've never seen the show before, again, it's kind of a live recap show of what's been going on around Stitchin Heaven or around Rob's studio. It seems weird to talk about myself that way, but it's almost turning into a creature of itself, right? The creative energy that happens in that place. So at any rate, just having a great time. And the grateful list is just kind of one of those things I like to remind myself of, the things that I consider to be blessings each and every day, especially on the days when I'm not feeling so spunky. I feel like reminding ourselves of the importantness of what's going on and the things we're grateful for is super important. So before I even really dive into grateful list, I've been inviting you all, and I hope you joined in and let us know what you thought of the Benner Tex virtual fabric release party that happened a couple of weeks ago. It was April 16th and 17th. And so right now what you see on the table, let's go to close cam here. What you see on the table is New World. So this was the fabric line I designed and released, I'm going to say 4 or 5 months ago. Okay, so these are the original colors. It's actually 3 designs in 3 colors each. So here is what you're seeing is the newer worlds, right? Second release. And the goal for this, if these were my basic brights, was to bring in a whole neat new section kind of to complement and play throughout. So really what's going to happen here is you see, I'm going to go ahead and start to sort these back in for my color wall. And it's not exactly a light, light, dark, dark match, but you can see how effective the gradient's going to be now as we work through. So what I did is I really just took my first round of colors and I thought of the next round of colors I would like to do. And there'll be even another round coming up real soon that will be more pastel-y and whatnot. So I'm hoping you can see that and the way that looks there, just real pretty. And I'm just very excited about the way that those are coming together. And it looks like that camera has stalled out for the day. So we're just having all kinds of fun, aren't we? Holy smokes. Or good golly, maybe we'll just say that. So at any rate, that's what I was trying to do. I just was trying to mix those fabrics together for you. And I can see that silly camera has given up the ghost as well. So you just never know what you're going to get from these silly technology things. But isn't it great that most of the time we're working with needle and thread, and our power tools generally will behave themselves at most times anyways, right? So at any rate, let's go ahead and keep going into that grateful list, because really the most fun and important part of that for me, oh no, now we've lost the main cam. Okay, this is just getting more and more exciting, folks. Stick with me. Don't give up. It's usually a much nicer show. There we go. Oh, okay. We're moving right into the grateful list. The cameras are stalling out. I was warned as I logged in today that some of the internet features or something were starting to kick out, and I thought I was already live. So anyways, again, doing my best to keep up with you all. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. There's a skateboard on the table because we're going to talk about skateboarding at the end of this video, if I ever am able to make it through today's video. I have a great skateboarding video to show as well, but some of you were following. I had a bit of a wipeout a few days ago, and while I was out there, as I wanted you to all see, I am perfectly fine. I apologize that I did not let you all know that I did not wipe out too bad. If you missed it, I was explaining to all you, and I'm sorry, I just put the fabrics together, but we had the new worlds and we've just released newer worlds. They're not available quite yet. They're still shipping out to the shops, but I'm starting to design in the whole palette now. And so my camera stalled out over here, so I'm going to stop goofing around too much with technology, and I want to share with you the stories of what started happening out in New Orleans last week, which was just a blast. So I did. I got to go out and met wonderful folks, and I took a little photo tour. So I went down to the city, took a couple pictures in front of the cathedral. We taught a class, and of course, everything was done in New Orleans style, if I get it right. So anyways, here is a fun photo of us hanging out, but this wonderful big chair we found behind the curtain at like the community center. So we brought that out and we all did selfies in the chair. It was so fun. Of course, in traditional style there, one of the students using the Super 60 template sets had already cheated and gone ahead, and she was showing us kind of her Mardi Gras quilt project she was going to make out of that. And so now I'm going to embarrass Joe, because Joe, I want you to know that I received my gift in the mail. We were talking about heroes, and I told her one of my heroes out there, and she made this. Folks, this is embroidered. This is all machine embroidery with thread, including even the whites and the cream. So this is an awesome portrait of Jesus. I'm super excited about it. So Joe, thank you so much. Joe promised it would be here when I got here, waiting for me in Texas this week, and it was so special to see that. And I actually have a couple of other photos I will share in a little bit. We will be doing show and tell with some of your quilts also at the end of the show, as long as technology continues to behave itself today. So anyways, that was a real special part of it. And again, my hostesses were just wonderful. They took me all over the studio, or all over the town, to get great photos. Now, this is the easiest log cabin quilt ever. Of course, this is probably one of the largest oyster shells ever. I don't know that it was real, but it was a lot of fun. I made the local Quilt Guild website by standing on a chair for almost 2 hours while presenting my quilt so the folks in the back row could see the quilts. Had a huge attendance. It was super wonderful. And so at any rate, I thought that was fun that was the picture they chose to put up of me standing on the chair. And this was my favorite photo from the week here. I wanted to get some of the balconies and things. This is actually right down in the French Quarter. Didn't spend much time down there, but just getting a few photographs. But I really enjoyed my trip and getting to do that. So that was just a ton of fun for me. So yeah, the first item for me on the grateful list, it kind of started a week ago Wednesday. I came to Texas the long way. I flew from California all the way to New Orleans, spent 4 days there. And then on my way home, I had realized that I had an opportunity. I had a connecting flight through Dallas. So I shouldn't tell everybody, but I let my suitcases go. My son was there to pick them up in California. I jumped off the plane, grabbed a rental car, and drove over here to Quitman in East Texas. And I have decided that April and or May are my favorite months to be out here. It was absolutely beautiful, just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Of course, when I walked into the shop, Deb Luttrell, our fearless leader, had just finished one of her new quilts, and look what I found. So it's a Judy Niemeyer QuiltWorks project. I am so sorry, folks. I'm forgetting the name at the moment. Deb, please, if you're listening today, will you please put it in the comments for everybody? But here's another picture of it. It's just beautiful. This features 9 of the New World's fabrics, and she just did an incredible job. There's a close-up of the center with all the different colors playing, and I love the different stars and things. So at any rate, that was super, super fun to walk into Texas, and it's kind of my home away from home, and to see all of these wonderful quilts here, and especially starting to see them made out of my fabrics. It really warmed my heart. Today is Friday. We actually have 3 different classes going on. So as I'm jumping around, I should first talk about making excuses. Making excuses was my lesson in my classes that as I was teaching out in New Orleans last week. And so funny enough, what does making excuses mean? And this is what I was teaching all of the students. Always be ready. I'm not saying that we should show folks what doesn't go well in our artwork, but I'm saying always have an excuse prepared in case we're ever questioned on it. So I've been traveling around with 2 unquilted quilt tops that are in those suitcases that I jettisoned and my son picked up in California. But my excuse for the last 2 weeks with those quilt tops is, folks, there are wide backs, 108 goods coming out to match the New World's fabrics. So of course, I'm going to be utilizing those on the back of my new quilt project. So that was my excuse. That's what I was teaching and or learning all week long, was make excuses, have them prepared, and I will be getting you some beautiful quilt shots and some beautiful completed quilts as soon as I get my quilt backing. And I wouldn't be surprised if that backing is actually waiting for me at home in California when I arrive. Like I said, I've been gone about 11 days at this point. And back to what I was also saying about having new classes and new quilters here. We have 3 classes going on. We have a Judy Niemeyer kind of a group. It's Tina Louders is teaching upstairs with her program around QuiltWorks. We also have a full-blown retreat going on in the retreat center. So Raya Saloma, if you have not met her, she's the gal that's standing in the back left corner there in the red blouse. She is just wonderful. She's brought a bunch of friends. Actually, they all met up. Most of them had met on a cruise. And so they're over in the retreat center right now having a wonderful time. There's a couple of ladies from Finland where Raya originates from. We got to see a trunk show last night. We've had samples of wonderful food from her homeland and wonderful chocolates and everything. And then here's a little video for you all. Now this is Karen teaching beginning quilting all day long today. And Karen is one of our creatives, also part of our marketing team. And they were just working on one of our really easy grab and go quilt kits. But what was super fun is those gentlemen you see in the background there that are sewing. I shouldn't be letting everybody know. I was sneaking up on them. But that is part of our production team and the president of the company there. They are learning to quilt on their own accord. They're very interested in what we do here. They hadn't been in the quilting world before. And so they spent spent the entire day in their Learn to Quilt class. And folks, I am happy to tell you, they are exhausted. Their brains are fried. Their points are almost matched up. They're covered in thread, and we have been holding their hands all day long. I mean, I tell you what, my president owes me 3 favors now because I had to tear out seams for him and press seams for him. He fell behind, so I had to go ahead and stitch it up when the teacher wasn't looking. So at any rate, it was so much fun with all of the students out there. So yes, well, it's what we keep talking about, building our community. And as I was speaking to the friends I was meeting out in New Orleans, not only were we talking about making excuses, but let's do this again this year. And it's probably a great goal for every year, but let's each one teach one. We all love quilting so much. Why should we not be sharing it, right, with all of our friends and family out there? So if every one of us took the time to just share, and maybe we're just teaching what we've learned. It doesn't have to be a new quilter, but just helping quilters enjoy quilting. And maybe if you're sharing these videos, that's one of the things I can't say thank you enough. As I've been in town, I've had so many wonderful hugs and compliments and folks that are telling us they're really using the beginning quilting video series we're putting together here on YouTube and just really enjoying everything we're doing. And that has really warmed my heart this time as well. So that's really the major reason that's on the grateful list this week, is not only are the quilting community growing, but it's really wonderful to meet you all in person and have you here. Okay, so now for the skateboarding story. The found coin. That is the last on the grateful list today. So I will go ahead and point out now that it is in my hand. If you are not aware, maybe it's your first time watching one of my videos or you hadn't caught the news, I am 12 years in recovery. I have not had a drink in over 12 years, and I just treated myself to this coin back in February, and it's always very, very special to me, and it's always in my pocket. Well, I love skateboarding around the property. And on Sunday night, well, actually I arrived in early Sunday. Remember, I kind of took a short trip in. So I got all unpacked and I took the time to go skateboarding in the afternoon all around the property. We have a beautiful 12 acres and there's a concrete trail basically most of the way around it. And I was skateboarding and having a great old time, and I caught a rock and I wiped out, and I didn't think much about it. But then for the next 2 days straight, I could not find my coin. And I tossed my room. Well, here, I've made a video. Okay, skateboarding fanatics, it's Rob Appell, Stitchin Heaven, Mr. Green Shoes. And I want to show you, I've been panicked. I could not find my coin, my recovery coin, 12 years without a drink. And I want you to see something right here. I'm in the back 40 looking. 2 nights ago, I was out skateboarding and I had quite the wipeout. The gardener was here today and everything, but look at this. Here's the culprit. This thing earlier, it stopped my tire and I wiped out so hard that my coin has flown all the way over to there. But praise the Lord, that was 2 days ago, and I've been panicked. I have completely turned my room. I have been through my backpack 3 times. I have looked absolutely everywhere. I had done a load of laundry. I'd taken out the trash. I had actually almost given up, and I decided to come back here knowing there was a bunch of rocks in the road anyways, and I can't believe it, but actually, of course I can. Like I said, praise the Lord. I found my coin, so great, and I just wanted to share this with all of you that follow my silly journeys out there. I think I want to do a book, quilt stories, no, excuse me, stories that no other quilter can tell, something like that. Anyways, love y'all, see you soon. I mean, really, that is amazing. I mean, it just, oh, okay, now I can finally pick it up. I wonder if it got all scratched up. Nope, perfect. Yeah, so pretty cool is that 2 days later, and I had this weird feeling about a day into tearing up my room. I'd even been on my hands and knees looking under the beds 3 or 4 times. I was so nervous about losing the coin. And I had that feeling because I wonder if it's out there where I was skateboarding. So thank you all again for your concern. I really appreciate you worrying about the wipeout, worrying about the lost coin and all of that. But we've had a lot of fun this week. If you did not hear, and I better have a link in the description, if not, I'm in big trouble today. But we have now received, but moving very quickly, folks, the Tula Pink Roar fabric. And everybody's super excited about it. And of course, you know, one of our jobs around here is to have fun and be happy. And so what you now see is Miss Pat, that's Chat with Pat, and Karen, who's teaching the class right now, and me in the middle. They have wrangled up some dinos to help us celebrate Roar, but they left one of the dinos unattended, and this happened. Dino cam, here we go. The ladies have left the suits unattended. I get to have fun right in the dyno cam. Here we go. Oh no, we have customers. Watch out, ladies. Dyno cam. Whoa, baby, whoa. Uphill, dyno cam. This is how I get my workout when I'm not in the ocean. Wrangling dynos at Stitchin Heaven. Here we go. Uh-oh. This could get ugly. Ah. Good morning. All right. Dyno cam in the warehouse. Is it shaking like I hope? Shake it, shake it. All right. There's your dyno cam tour for the day. Make sure you check us out online. Help us out so I don't have to do this every day. Here we go. Dyno cam. Ah! Well, I guess it's pretty obvious that Elijah and I are having a great time with our tech and our cameras and just having a blast out here creating content for you. Hey, I saw your comments, folks. I'm glad you enjoyed that so much. What I'll go ahead and do, I'll put that in the social media and I'll put just that little dyno skateboarding video for you all on the So Well with Rob Appell Facebook group so that you don't have to watch this whole video, especially with the technology challenges we were having in the beginning. I appreciate you all being out there, and I will treat you to putting the skateboarding dinosaur video as a standalone so that you may share it with all of your friends and remind them why we are having so much fun here at Stitchin Heaven. And I'm just glad to see all your reactions. That's awesome. Okay, time for the show and tell, folks. We've got a couple of quilts that have come in, and if you would like to send your quilts in, and let me go ahead and put them on display every now and again. There's the email address, rob@stitchinheaven.com. I do my best to keep track of them. If I've ever forgotten to put one of your quilts up and you've sent it in, please send it again. I almost lost one of them today and I was really nervous about it. So at any rate, here we go. We've got a couple for you. This one here, I'm going to say thank you, Carly. This is another really beautiful one. I'm not sure if she was just utilizing scraps for kind of that awesome log cabin effect, but boy, I sure think that's a beautiful. Well, you know my favorite color is green, so what else can I say, right? And then I also have here a couple of beautiful photos. This one came in from Heather, so thank you, Heather. And this, if I read the story correctly, she made for her son, and you can see him there holding his lovely quilt, and he absolutely loves it. So let me go ahead and take Heather's name off of that so you can just see that beautiful quilt there. And thank you again for sending in those photos, folks. It means the world to us to know that you're out there and that you're following along and that you're learning from the videos we're putting together and you're smiling with the videos we're putting together and all of that. So as I'm getting ready to sign off here, folks, feel free to toss in a few questions. I'm not in any rush today. It's basically the end of the work week out here for us. So go ahead, put in your questions. I'll do what I can to answer them. And wait a second there. Who's calling me old folks? That's not cool. Somebody just said, who says old folks can't skateboard? I'm only 51. That's barely even half-life, right? Golly, old folks. I'll tell you what. Oh, my back. Wait, my back went out. I think I shouldn't have been saying that. Oh, I forgot a show and tell. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I told you Joe sent me this. That's my show and tell again. Okay, I got a wonderful embroidery of Jesus there. And I think this is from Shelly. There was a different name on the return envelope. So if I've made it, I'm wrong. And I had a camera set up, but I don't have it set up at the moment because of technology. So what you're going to see here, I do my best to hold them still. These were made for her 26-year-old grandson. She used my guitar pattern and she made some beautiful guitars. And I'll just kind of pump through them real quick. And then I've got a photo I know coming up here with a couple of them together at any rate. And I just really appreciate this and how sweet that she took the time to actually print out some photos for me and send them over. And she did a bunch of different colors. And if I remember the rest of the story, the different colors for the different guitar players in her lives and stuff. And so anyways, always wonderful to see how you're being creative with all of the different patterns that we have out here. So again, I'm really, really excited about that. This coming week, I've got a really fun video for you on Wednesday. You all remember when my friend Charisma came out and we hung out for a couple of days. Well, we went on a little creativity tour. We were kind of refreshing our creative souls and our play days, and we went and hung out with some of our friends. And one day we decided to pretend like we were going to be making interview movies or whatnot. And we did cooking and sewing and just a beautiful conversation about cultural fusion with Sujata Shah. She's an amazing, amazing quilt maker and friend of ours who lives over in California as well. So next week, we've got a really beautiful interview with Charisma and with Sujata. And Sujata teaches us how to cook some wonderful Indian dishes. And then Sujata will also teach us how to do a very fun free-form quilting block. It's a bit of a long video. We didn't want to delete any of it really. So make sure you watch to the end. There's a sewing lesson in it for you also. And I just appreciate you being there. So here's what that'll look like. And that quilt behind her, oh my gosh, that's a Quandi quilt. Sujata's there in the center of the photo. And then you can see their Charisma on the side. And again, it was just a wonderful, wonderful time we had together, being creative together and playing together. And while I'm saying that, I see it's time that I remind you all to join me August 7th through 11th. I have a few seats left for the retreat here in Quitman, Texas. I'm looking to buy fireworks because I've already ridden a skateboard and a dinosaur, I guess. I don't know, something like that. Okay, those of you who saw the New Year's sewing event, I jumped in the pond for my polar bear experience after the sewing on New Year's Day. We were concerned about anaconda, python, and alligator that day, and I will confirm I was not killed. However, I will also say that yesterday during a business meeting out by the pond, you heard that correctly, we noticed there were 3 large turtles swimming in the pond and confirmed that there are actually turtles living in the pond. I thought that was pretty great. So if you were concerned before about jumping in the pond, and now I do not blame you, but you're still welcome to jump in our pond if you have your bathing suit on. Birthday suits are not allowed, folks. Okay, let's check some of these comments. Let's check some of these questions, and then I am out of here. Oh, great. Okay. Newer Worlds Fabrics. So the new 9 colors, I believe, technically ship to quilt stores in July of this year. I have them early because I'm going to start designing quilts with them. And I believe we'll be very, in the near future, ready to take some special orders or pre-orders so that those followers have first access to them. And I'll probably put that information also on that Facebook group, that Sew Well private Facebook group. They're also available in most other quilt stores because it's a Benartex basic, basically, and they match beautiful with the shadow blush. So you really can find them in your local quilt shops, and we appreciate you supporting us here at Stitchin Heaven, but it takes the whole village, if you know what I'm saying. So maybe early access with us and the rest of it local, you know, we do pretty well, and we appreciate all of that. So anyways, yeah, New Worlds will be coming out in July. And then let's see, what are my other questions coming here? I really do enjoy what I do. I've had many of folks notice that this week. And I do really feel blessed to be doing what I'm doing here. This is really an exciting place for me to get to be creative. Thank you so much for the compliments. I'm going through. Yeah, I was exhausted. Oh, that's Elijah. You can't tell on me, Elijah. He's sitting across the room over there. He's busting me. My goodness. I should drag him over here and get him in trouble. Awesome, guys. You're a great audience. Fantastic. Okay, ACJ wants pre-orders. If you've got those questions, get them in. I think I'm about ready to sign off. One more time, I'm going to put up Deb's beautiful quilt here. This was, again, such a wonderful, wonderful thing. I believe we have those quilt kits coming very soon also from QuiltWorks. Don't miss out on the information on threading, winding bobbins, maintenance and oil on your straight stitching machines. Again, even if it's not a HandiQuilter, I think that a lot of this information will really make sense. Please join us on our So Well private Facebook group. If you have not yet subscribed, make sure you do so. Smash that like button so that you don't miss a moment of the action right here. We have a beautiful tutorial coming for you on Wednesday. Like I said, Sujata will teach us all about her homeland. And I will see you for a live in California next Friday, folks. I will do my best to get this technology ironed out beforehand. Come on, what would it be a Friday live without some sort of technology glitch in the beginning, right? I think I've gotten one right in the last 5 or something. I don't know. Anyways, folks, I'm super stoked you're here. We appreciate you. We love you all. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I was going to say I was going to sign off, and I just saw the words pretty quilt. Thanks, ACJ. I have been asked this question a couple of times, and I forgot to answer it. I figured it'd be easy to answer here. This is a strip piece quilt project. It's basically a double tumbling block. I have the pattern that uses, or a kit that uses, the New Worlds. There is a link in the description below for you if you're interested. It's a very simple pattern, and I have multiple videos out on how to do strip piecing. I think you can see right here, it's assembled in rows, and they're just 60-degree triangles cut on the strip. So I get a lot of folks asking about this quilt and a couple of the other ones that look very, very similar. Double tumbling block or strip piece tumbling blocks are what I call these, and we have several patterns for you, and I believe I've got one in the description today. Thank you for catching me right before I signed off. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your afternoon. I am going to go get packed up and jump on a plane and head to California. Thanks.